Welcome back to another episode of the IO Show, and today we're figuring out why it sucked to be a ninja. And I think it would be cool to be a ninja because of Naruto. But I can learn some jutsus and things of that nature. And just that'll be tough. That'll be tough. But let's see why he thinks it would suck to be a ninja.
You're born in Japan somewhere between the 800s and the 1800s, but most likely around the 1600s and 1700s because that's when ninjas were most popular.
Hmm.
Ninjas didn't have your typical childhood. You didn't get to play with any other children, and you basically had no friends. Your entire childhood, you only had one purpose: training to become the most efficient silent assassin and spy you could be. Ninjas started training basically right out of the womb. And it wasn't just the regular training you might expect. Some of your training involved crawling through thorny bushes to toughen up your skin and learn how to move silently.
Bro. I mean, if it works, I guess. But I thought you just had to like punch like a tree a bunch of times, like Rock Lee. And then that's how you like get the miniature fractures in your fingers and stuff. Or hit the gym.
To stay hidden. One of the most important skills a ninja needed to master was the art of moving without making a sound. I mean, even if your pinky toe steps on a branch, you're basically a goner. You learned how to walk, run, and climb without alerting enemies. You also had to learn how to hide in plain sight and blend into your surroundings. This mainly involved staying hidden in shadows, dark spaces, and in crowds. Basically, ninjas had to be professional hide-and-seek players.
I would never show my teeth. Never. Would never smile. And it forces you into
I
this
wouldn't either.
mission of silence because you don't think that anybody's going to take
To be able to survive. They were so silent that there may be even one in your closet right now.
You know what's crazy? I have a theory that ninjas still exist, but they're at Mandarin or Chinese restaurants. Because peep game, how come every time I finish my food or the whole table's food is clear, they come just in time? They they're hiding all over the place. I swear. I swear. You know what I'm saying?
But make sure you wait till after this video to check. Some of the other training you had to go through was scaling walls, mountains, and learning how to climb using ropes, ladders, and hooks to be able to break into castles or any enemy buildings. You were trained to have multiple identities in order to sneak your way into enemy camps, gather intelligence, or assassinate targets. You had to learn how to disguise yourself as a traveler, monk, merchant, farmer, military leader, or even a samurai. I mean, for all you know, I could be a ninja right now, pretending to be Jinx. But I guess we'll never know. Each disguise you had required...
I'm not even gonna lie, this sounds fun. Like, I know he's embellishing a little bit because ain't no way they were like real ninjas, right? Ain't no way they were just going, and they're like, do I like a ninja? No. Anything shurikens in the shadows, like. You know what I'm saying? That would be cool, bro. I want to be a
required
ninja, bro.
specific training to be able to master your mannerisms, speech, and how you acted. And if you weren't able to complete this training, well, most of the time, ninjas that couldn't go through it were abandoned by their families. So let's make sure you complete that training of yours or disappoint your family forever. Some of the weapons you had to learn how to use were katanas and shorter blades for close fights, and throwing stars were what you could use from distance and were one of the most iconic ninja weapons. They were small, star-shaped objects to throw at whatever you wanted. Some more weapons were blowguns, poison darts, smoke bombs, and flash grenades. Blowguns were used to shoot poison darts, which could take down a target from a distance without alerting anyone else. Smoke bombs and flash grenades were used to create distractions or cover a ninja's escapes. Ninjas were skilled in using smoke bombs, which could obscure vision and give them an opportunity to evade capture or escape from a tight situation. You were basically playing Call of Duty before Call of Duty was even a thing. Ninjas and samurais existed during the same time period in Japanese history and often worked together, with ninjas usually serving as spies and more of a secret agent, while samurais were more in the front lines, fighting with their swords. Ninjas were not seen as very noble. You were actually seen more as the bottom of the food chain, usually born into a poor family and someone you just hire to assassinate someone, while samurais were in the actual military, a part of the upper class, and seen as warriors.
Wait a second, why are you trying to make fun of a ninja? You just said they're assassins, bro. Why are you trying, bro? So you're telling me you're gonna be a random person 165 and say like, "Oh, you dishonorable ninja. You cannot eat here." And then all of a sudden you wake up, your whole family's dead because you made that one comment, and your head is sliced off, just like, who you calling?
So you already started your life at a disadvantage. By the time you reached 10 years old or your early
10?
teens, you would have mastered basic stealth, combat, and survival skills. Plus, started some covert missions like pulling off your own assassination. Yeah, there were actually ninjas around the age of 10 assassinating people. That might be one of the most embarrassing ways to die. Everyone knowing you really lost your life to a child. That's just straight up unfortunate. But like I said, even young ninjas were already starting dangerous missions. This is why the life expectancy of a ninja was extremely low. If you were lucky, you might be able to make it into your 30s, but a lot of ninjas were dying in their 20s, and many even before that.
Bro, think about this in Naruto terms. Like, these are just regular people. Like, what if, like, I'm pretty sure that, like, if you remember in the Hashirama flashback, his brother died at like what, 12? Bro, and people knew jutsus. They can hit you with a chidori, but like a fireball jutsu. I know the life is spent. Bro, we really just only see the good parts of our favorite anime. We don't really think about how there's a bunch of other people in Naruto who just died on a mission at like 15.
From the time you were young, you were told to trust no one, especially outsiders. But there was always the risk of being betrayed by fellow ninjas or double-crossed by employers. And even if you weren't betrayed, you still could fail one of your missions, and if that happened, you would most likely be abandoned or killed.
Not me, bro. Not me. I'm surviving one-man army. You know what I'm saying?
We've racked up a ton of stats over the years.
But there's one stat we cannot ignore.
The 8.7 million Canadians live
Yeah, I don't care.
By the time you reached your 20s, this was considered the peak of your life. Physically and mentally, you were the best you could get. But this also meant this was the age you had the best chance to die at. Because you were at your peak, you were relied on for the most dangerous missions and tasks.
Oh,
You
you're
would be
jealous
sent
now.
deep into enemy territories, sometimes undercover for weeks or even months at a time. These missions required complete mastery of disguises, stealth, and the ability to blend in with enemy ranks. And like I said before, you better watch out for that stick, because stepping on that stick is the difference between life and death. Most of the people you'd be assassinating would be military leaders, but it could also be personal enemies of whoever hired you, like political rivals or disloyal samurai. Some ways you killed them were poisoning wells, catching buildings on fire that enemies were in, or the good old-fashioned ninja star to the face. This is my personal favorite, and usually the most effective. Blow darts were also another option for your assassinations. This wasn't as common, but if you didn't feel like poisoning their food or water or throwing a ninja star at their face, I guess that left you with one option, and that was a poisonous
I ain't gonna lie, I'm not using a poison needle. I'm using Mine's top for, okay, here's how I rank it. You know what I'm saying? The ninja star for the trick shots, because I'll be in another building and he'll be on like the side of the building of the window I can't see, and I'm gonna hit that. Yeah. Sound like his head, right? And then burning buildings, just easiest, gets it figured out. If he doesn't die in the fire, smoke him out, chop his head off in GTA. and then poison takes too long, and then dart last. I'm not going because unless they're trained with like air style jutsu to make the projectile go further, it's like
Blow darts right to their booty. You didn't have to hit them there, but it added a little bit of style points. Now was about the time of your life where you could get married and have kids. Most of the time, it was an arranged marriage, meaning you didn't get to choose who you married. And if you worked for the government,
yeah, as long as she's not fine, I don't really care. Hey man, she a slim thick Konoichi. Hey man, I say man, game is game, I guess. Oops. You know what I'm saying? And then how much do ninjas get paid actually? Or do they get taxed? Because like I wouldn't be the one to collect taxes from a ninja. You know what I'm saying? Like if a ninja's broke, he can just end me if he didn't want to pay taxes. So that's where my mind goes.
you could only marry other ninjas. But hey,
Slim
marrying a
thick
girl ninja
Konoichi.
sounds kind of cool. I might have to think about getting myself one of those. Now that you have yourself your very own ninja wife, you kinda now have to have your very own ninja kids and become a cute ninja family. And once they're old enough, you can even drag them along to bring your kid to work day and have them pull off their very first assassination.
Don't
One
do
blow
that.
dart to the butt coming right up. That is, unless they want to try the old-fashioned ninja star to the face. If you were lucky enough to reach your 30s, which wasn't very common, like I said, ninjas' life expectancy was in their 20s because they died so often, then welcome to retirement. Except ninjas didn't really have retirement. Older ninjas would still be called upon for critical missions, but your physical abilities would have started to decline. Because of how hard the job was, ninjas often suffered from chronic injuries and exhaustion. Even if you were lucky enough to be alive, then you could probably barely walk without a cane. And that thing is definitely not helping you.
I mean, technically, according to all the movies and anime I've ever watched, the old people get the job done way better because you're the most unsuspected, and use your bow staff to like you be more. No, I'm saying feng shui with the way you fight. Use some of that. You wax on, wax off, wax on, wax off. And you kind of just trick your opponent.
To be stealthy. So, to still help out, you begin training other little ninjas instead of going on dangerous missions to assassinate people.
This is like
At
YN
least,
training,
that was a
bro.
little
Literally.
easier on your back. Getting old as a ninja was just about as bad as when you were in your prime. As you reached the ripe age of your 30s, you were often completely alone. Ninjas rarely formed long-lasting relationships, and many lived out their later years alone and forgotten. Without the skills that make you a deadly killer for hire, no one really cared for you. Basically, having nothing to show for your years of service. So for your years of risking your life, you were rewarded with all your
those are
so-called
eyebrows.
friends and leaders abandoning you, leaving you alone and depressed to die by yourself with constant, everyday chronic pain.
Bro, start a ninja agency, bro. Bro, no creativity at all. You train your own ninjas. You use all your years of experience to train your own people. They have to go through you. The clients have to go through you to get to your clients. And then, as long as you did a good job over your years, you can have permanent clients, bro. You ain't thinking.
Pain. But at least you get to keep your cool uniform and this headband. But that was just the regular life of a ninja. And unfortunately for you, you were born as a ninja. So, good luck.
Me personally, I would be the greatest ninja of all time. I would learn every single jutsu. I would be a master at what's it called in Naruto? Kenpo? No, that's a gay person thing. What's the thing? I'll be the master of a sword. You know what I'm saying? I would learn a shuriken jutsu. I'll be doing trick shots like Itachi. You know what I'm saying? Then like make them bounce off each other and type. But like anyway, like, comment, subscribe, and yeah.